Hello there, welcome back to the official DOIJ podcast. Today we're talking about something that has been very popular on the news, and rightfully so. It is the coronavirus. So first off, if you want to go ahead and join the official DOIJ podcast server over on Discord, click the second link in the description, and getting more into the benefits of that later on. For now, let's go ahead and get into this article. This article is brought to us by BBC.com. I'll try and link it in the description. So it is titled "Coronavirus: Countries Enforce Mass Closures to Stem Spread." So this is the title of this podcast. And it goes, or reads, or in this case listens, as follows. Schools have been closed, sports events canceled, and cultural institutions shut around the world as countries try to stem the coronavirus outbreak. In the U.S., all major sport has been suspended and Broadway performances are off for a month. Meanwhile, France is one of the latest European countries to close all schools, universities, and nurseries. President Emmanuel Macron described the outbreak as France's most serious health crisis for a century. More than 125,000 people have been diagnosed with COVID-19 and are in 118 countries around the world. According to the World Health Organization, the total number of deaths is more than 4,600. Shares around the world have plunged again. On Wall Street, stocks plummeted about 10% in their worst day since the 1987 Black Monday crash, a fall mirrored on London's FTSE. How is the cultural sector being affected? Some of the world's top museums and galleries have now shut their doors. The Van Gogh Museum and the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, are closing until the end of March. My apologies if I mispronounced that or if I mispronounced anything else in this article, as always. In the U.S., New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art, the largest art museum in the world, said it was temporarily closing all three of its locations in the city. All Smithsonian museums in Washington, D.C. and New York City will close from Saturday. New York State's Governor Andrew Cuomo banned all gatherings of more than 500, prompting Broadway to suspend all its performances for a month. And then it has a little picture here, a little graph. It shows cases outside China continue to rise daily from cases of coronavirus outside China. And you can see between the 24th of January and the 5th of February, it was about maybe about a dozen or so. And then it slowly started to increase, and then really the most severe severe spike looks like a bit after 29th, where that then hit around 1,500, and then went down a little bit, goes up and down, and then just before, yesterday, day before, whatever, it was at about 4,500, and now it's past 6,000. So, yeah, that's a lot of cases. Disneyland in California announced it would close its doors from Saturday amid a wave of COVID-19 infections in the state. In the world of film, the release of the latest Fast and Furious installment was pushed back by 11 months, one of a number of movies to postpone opening dates, and the Tribeca Film Festival was postponed in the U.S. Also on Thursday, Qatar announced the closure of all cinemas, theaters, gyms, play areas, and museums. And what sporting events are off? It has been hard to keep up with all of the moves, but here are some of the key ones. The NFL, NBA, and MLS have all suspended their seasons in the U.S., and the ATP Tour shut down for 6 weeks to protect the health and safety of our players, staff, the wider tennis community, and general public health. This weekend's Formula One season opening Australian Grand Prix has been called off. The Nepalese government has cancelled all climbing permits for Mount Everest, following China's decision not to allow any expeditions on the northern side of the mountain. Ski areas in western Austria's Tyrol province are also to close down from Sunday, regional officials said Thursday. A host of postponements and suspensions have hit European football, including Manchester City versus Real Madrid, while all French football matches are being suspended until further notice. Now, one thing that I have heard is that also a few other sports are closing for now, like the NHL and a few other American sports. I don't know about the European sports and all that, but that was what I just watched about 20 minutes ago on CNN. I talked about it. So what is the latest on the quarantines? 4 towns in Spain's Catalonia region were put under lockdown on Thursday, and a first in the country. The measures, affecting some 70,000 people, came as Spain's death toll rose to 84, up from 47 the day before. In Italy, the government imposed a blanket closure of restaurants, bars, and almost all shops, except food stores and pharmacies. The death toll there has passed 1,000, but Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio says the measures imposed in the first area of the outbreak have been proving effective. Also on Thursday, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte announced a ban on domestic travel to and from Manila and what he called a lockdown of the capital. A number of key figures have also revealed they are self-isolating amid concerns they may have caught the virus. Among them, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie. What about school closures? Ireland, Spain, France, the Philippines, Portugal, and Bolivia were among the countries to announce school closures on Thursday. In the UK, the government said such measures were being considered, but that the scientific advice was that this could do more harm than good at this stage. All school trips abroad were banned, however, and anyone with a cough or high temperature was advised to self-isolate for 7 days. UK PM Boris Johnson said this was the worst public health crisis for a generation, and warned many families they would lose loved ones before their time. So also one thing to note that the United States we've also been closing down our schools. If I remember correctly, I think it was Ohio. The governor of Ohio has closed down all schools. I can't remember for 30 days or until further notice. But one thing that I do say is I think 30 days is not enough. I think it should be about 60. Now, I obviously I'm kind of worried about the financial impact this is going to have on families and all that. Because you can't go out there and go to work. If then not only you can't make money, but your boss can't make money. And I don't just mean your manager or your assistant manager. I mean like the people that own that business. That actually, that the profits will pay for, to keep that business alive, to keep it running, to keep you in your job. That is something, I'm worried about. I'm worried some of these businesses will close. I'm curious to see how the governments are going to handle this economic possible problem. Obviously, if you're a really big company, you're like a millionaire, billionaire, and you have enough money to keep the lights on for, to pay the lease or whatever it is. I don't know the business. I don't know. But I know it's got to cost money to, keep the land there so the bank doesn't take it, so you don't go bankrupt. But to be able to pay to kind of keep your business right there where it is, and be able to, then pay for whatever new stock. Because if, stores close down for a week, 2 weeks, especially the longer it goes, the higher the chance, and after about a month, granted, unless it's like a furniture store, or it's like a Lowe's or Home Depot, or something like that, like Walmart, might not have that much of a problem. Like if you're selling stuff that doesn't expire, that doesn't go bad, that doesn't rot out, whatever, then you won't have too much of a problem trying to having to buy new stock, new supplies. But those like the restaurants and the grocery stores, those are the ones that are going to have the biggest problem of do they have enough to pay for the stock, and if so, how much? And then of course people that, and then there's not only that problem, but there's also the problem of who is going to have the money. I mean, hopefully people will still have enough money to go and purchase products and continue their daily lives, and won't have to that's what I'm curious is, will we get to a point where no one will have money, so you'll open up, you'll go to work and then you'll have no customers because nobody else in your area has any money. I mean, that's one thing. I don't think it'll get that bad, but I am curious if that does happen. What do you do to remedy that? So, yeah, I mean, I guess businesses that have enough money in stock, if they're smart enough. If I was a business owner, I mean, this would not exactly be the thing that I'd be saving money for, but it would definitely help, because if you're a business owner, you hope that you'd be saving money aside in case you can't. In case let's say your business burns down due to human error, depending on what it is, depending on what your business is, or if there's a tornado or something and you just gets ripped right through. You should have some money in the bank to where you can pay your employees, pay your stock, pay whatever, kind of pay for repairs and kind of pay for any expenses that might come up, any unexpected expenses. But that's my opinion. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's podcast. So again, if you want to join the official DOIJ podcast server, go ahead and click on the second link in the description. One of the bonuses and advantages of joining the official DOIJ podcast server, you may be wondering to yourself, is you will actually get access to these podcasts at least 30 minutes early. And how that happens is because since they are now pre-recorded and they are recorded, whatever, and when they go up on YouTube, I put them unlisted, and because they will be released on their schedule. However, the schedule is for the podcast server. So 12 p.m. on Saturday, which is where this podcast will go, be released to the podcast server. That's it. There you guys see that. It doesn't go live public on YouTube until at least 30 minutes after that. I say at least 30 minutes because I might get distracted a little, as I tend to do so. So there's one of the many advantages of that. If you want to find out the other advantages, and can't give them all away. So go ahead and click on the second link in the description. Go ahead and join that. And of course, if you want to join DOIJ Roleplay, we have GTA 5 Roleplay for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, also known as 5M, or 5M, also known as PC. Whichever way you want to put it, doesn't matter to me. I hear it is a lot of fun, and I hope to one day be doing it. And then, of course, we also have Red Dead Redemption 2 Roleplay for PS4 and Xbox One. So, if you want to go ahead and join a fantastic roleplay community, go ahead and click on the third link in the description. And with that said, this is where we're going to go ahead and end today's podcast. So yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Turn on the notification bell as well, so if you're not on the podcast server, you'll know next time we go live with the next podcast. And with that said, thank you all so much for listening in.